2025 examination economy MCQs, and I will also like to tell you, so whatever the classes that we have done just before the examination, how would that classes MCQs have reflected in the examination, that proof also I'll give you. Along with that, whatever the questions have come in the examination from the economic section, I will be discussing that in detail, along with the explanation, along with the elimination of statements, and giving you the exact answer. Okay, right. So the audio is very clear now. Everything is set. We can start our discussion. Okay, right. Those who are watching me for the very first time, make sure that you regularly continue the classes, because whenever we are doing the classes, lot of things are being reflected in the examination, so we cannot miss out any of such important areas that could be probable to come in the examination. Okay, fine. One important analysis I have seen, I would like to tell this to all of you. You will be very shocked to even know about it. The complete economic questions, there are around 20 economic questions are there. 20 economic questions give you around 40 marks. And with regard to environment, there are around 15 to 17 questions are there. This will give you around another 35 marks. So 40 to 35, like almost 75 marks, which is actual cutoff marks for the examination also over a period of time according to the experience from the UPSC. Now, environment economy plays a very important role. So in both the subjects, I have seen that economy or environment, static and current affairs are there. And if you're including even polity 10 static questions, if you are able to do, or 7 static questions you are able to do, you are perfectly placed in order to crack the prelims without even studying any of the subjects in detail. Okay. So what I would like to tell, hi Sagar. So when I was doing the analysis of GS economic MCQs, I wanted to find out what is the source of this particular MCQs the UPSC is asking actually. I want to get the source of it. As you know that our institute material will be there basically, and some people will read Ramesh Singh, some people will read Uma Kapila, Dattan Sundaram, etc. so and so forth. Basically, economy does not have one particular book, just like Majid Hussain is there for geography, Lakshmikant is there for polity, Spectrum is there for history. We actually do not have any one book with regard to what? Economy. So we generally rely more on what? Conceptual understanding, right or wrong? Yes. Plus the material which is given by the institute, or a very popular book that every UPSC aspirant generally have, that is Ramesh Singh. But questions are not reflecting from these aspects, from these areas, from these items or these books, whatever you are buying. Questions are not being reflected from economy from these areas. Now what is the other source that we have to actually follow in order to make sure that the UPSC examination will be a little bit easier for you with regard to the economy subject? Okay. Now after carefully analyzing all the questions, I have come to one conclusion. This is very big breakthrough and very strenuous analysis that I have done since 2 days, and come to the conclusion that UPSC is asking questions from only one newspaper, that is from Economic Times. That is from Economic Times. Almost all the questions that we are going to discuss, I will show you with proof that, along with the what paper cutout, I will show you that many of the questions, almost like 95 questions have come from what? Only Economic Times newspaper. This is an important point you have to remember. So your static knowledge plus Economic Times, you will get around 35 to 40 marks in the preliminary examination. That is a very good incentive, very short notes that you can say to crack the examination very accurately. And as you all know that economy is not all about, okay, it's not completely about factual. Many of the things are very conceptual. Okay, whenever we talk about acts, whenever we talk about schemes, that becomes what? Very factual. And these facts are also not so hard to even remember. Schemes, mission programs, we are used to remember them. So that's not a problem at all. And basically they don't ask us GDP trends, inflation percentage, etc., so and so forth. So that kind of number thing, that is a very big misconception among the students, that number may be like quantitative data may be asked or numerical data may be asked with regard to the growth rate, GDP per capita in agriculture sector growth rate. That has been not a pattern of UPSC asking questions. Either you will get a factual scheme program okay kind of questions, or you will get what concept. Here you will be having cause and effect relationship, okay, that we are going to discuss anyhow in the MCQs. I hope this is all clear to you. And if you are doing this static whatever the theory that you are having plus economic times newspaper regularly, 40 marks, nearly half of the cutoff of your UPSC will be done. I hope this is very making your confidence go up and make you feel very easy for the examination. And when I have done the research with regard to environment, which is not my forte subject, but still when I was doing the paper, I got this curiosity that lot of environment questions are also being reflected in the UPSC 2025. So I wanted to know that whether the environment source could be what. We know that very well. We generally study a book which is given by a leading institute, one of the leading institute. We'll generally read that particular book. Apart from that, we do not have much of the information with regard to environment, in the sense that we have lots of information with regard to environment in NIOAS, in IGNU, in NCERT. Okay, we are having it, and lot of international and national schemes, conventions, various measures will be continuously being taken up in this environment related aspects. So we are not able to keep a track of it. So what I understood with regard to environment preparation for the aspirant is, if they are following the print newspaper and if they are following the down to earth newspaper, if you're following these two, your environment 20 questions can be easily done. So make sure that you don't do this mistake. I will make sure that whatever I have told you, I will be proving you in the next 20 to 25 minutes. Stay tuned with me and do the exercise properly. It is very important for all the aspirants to have the evaluation on time. Evaluation gives you a kind of knowledge that you will never forget. That is the reason you have to be always present in the evaluation, whether it is prelims or mains. Take the feedback, take the remarks, work on it. That is how the consistency you can maintain. When you are having what I say is the gap in your knowledge or in your preparation, okay, then you can work. And if you feel that everything is good, then you will not work for it. So learning your gaps, learning your obstacles, okay, makes you to be very consistent with regard to your preparation and keeps your motivation always high. So learn where you are lacking so that you can work with consistency and motivation throughout this particular period. I hope this is clear to you. Let us start our discussion. Okay. Those who are watching me from the last 10 days, they might be aware of this fact. Before the examination of May 25, we have done nearly about 6 lectures. With regard to that, 6 lectures are completely based on what? Current affairs. Okay, the first lecture that I have taken was budget part 1, budget part 2 I have taken. Then I have taken what? Economic survey, all schemes I have taken. Then I have taken agriculture schemes I have taken. Okay, one lecture was on the tips that you have to remember for going to examination. Like 6 to 7 classes I have taken. And in these 6 to 7 classes, nearly about 7 questions have come in the examination and the tips have clearly worked out. Okay. So the first question that we are going to discuss is, it is given in the UPSC 2025 examination. Okay. India is one of the founding members of International North-South Transport Corridor. See, INSTC, already we have discussed this in our class. So International North-South Corridor, we have discussed it in length. After this slide, we have also discussed with regard to with the help of what? A map also. Okay, so see, if you have attended the 5 classes that I have given to you, you would have done like 10 marks for sure in your examination. That's why it is important that when you are having a series of lectures, you should never miss. When you are having random lectures, okay, nowadays a lot of institutions are doing that by also flashing the news with regard to breaking news, this happened, that happened, okay, private life of the people, personal life of the people, or any other random topic. Many of the institutions are discussing as like sunny, just like what all the media channels will do. So if you are watching that random lectures, you will definitely not get anything. But if you're watching any of the institute, a series of lectures, mind you, you will be definitely having edge. So if you have attended the 6 lectures all together one day after another day, then you would have got a lot of confidence also, and you would have gone into the examination with good preparation. Okay, right. So international north-south corridor, you can see that from India, we are going here. We have taken what Iran route, and we want to connect with what Russia. Then we go to what Europe. This is where we. So it is India to Central Asia. From India to Central Asia via Iran we are going. So India, Iran. This is Central Asia. This is East Asia. This is West Asia. This is the Central Asia. We are going like this. Okay, Azerbaijan. Here we are having what Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan. All that will be there. We will go like this, and we will go to what, connect to Europe. This was already discussed in our classes, very recent classes, okay, just before the examination. So your answer here is A, international north south corridor. India to Central Asia to Europe via Iran. Iran is important. Remember this point. I have told you at that time many a times that Saudi Arabia is not the connection with regard to INSTC. I have stressed this point in my lecture that you should be knowing it's not Saudi Arabia, it's Iran. Because as far as we know that Iran is an Islamic country, and we are very much aware of this fact that Iran is not having that better ties with India. So you might be thinking that, okay, this corridor might not pass from Iran, but may pass from what? Saudi Arabia, because Saudi Arabia is a very good friend of us. It could be a aspirant mentality, but you know that in geopolitics and geoeconomics, none of your friend, none of your foes. Remember this point. It's all up to your interest. You have to work. That's why in order to make our Indians, because Indians have now, they are going through what, through Africa they are going like this, or to the this Red Sea they are going. So it's a very bigger route in order to make our products to be sold in the Europe market. Now this is a very direct market that we are, and this particular area we have not tapped. Means the market is nothing but where you buy and sell. Now for us this is a selling market. Here our products are not reaching, so we can easily reach Europe, plus we can easily tap the market of these particular countries. So I hope this is all clear to you. Okay, those who are watching me, is it clear? If you are having any doubts, please do ask me. Don't skip the evaluation. Don't skip the assessment analysis of GS paper 1, because it actually builds a foundation for your next year of preparation. Clear, Sagar? So one question directly has appeared in the UPSC Prelims 2025 with regard to what? Economy, and the lecture was given just 6 days back. Now, again, I wanted to talk about this only with all of you. Okay. See here, you see Economic Times. I told you, no, in Economic Times is the paper that you have to actually rely on with regard to UPSC preparation and with respect to the subject economy only. So with reference to the investments, consider the following. So if you just see here also, you can see that what is in alt. So what is saying that which among the above are treated as alternative investment funds. So if you have just seen that in an alternative investment fund, money is collected from investors and put into areas other than stocks and bonds, your answer is here only. So if you remember stocks and if you remember bonds, so money is collected by businesses. Money is collected by businesses from investors, from any other funds, but not from stocks and bonds. Remember this point. But not from stocks and bonds. Suppose you might have watching what Shark Tank India, right? In Shark Tank India, what actually they are doing? They are venture capital funds. Okay, they are not actually they are basically doing what stocking only they are doing, because in stocks you will become owner. In stocks you will become owner. So whatever the Shark Tank is they are doing, they are actually taking the equity of the business. Okay, so basically Shark Tank India is all about equity only, nothing more than that, or a lending, or they will give what? Loan. They'll give what? Loan. Now, apart from stocks and bonds, any other fund is collected by a business. Suppose I go into the Shark Tank India and all of them ask me to, okay, give my share. I did not give. They asked me to give my bond. I did not give. I did not give this too. Okay, but any other way I have raised the fund. Okay, that particular all such ways are called as alternative investment fund. Money is collected from the investors other than what stocks and bonds is called as alternative investment fund. The examples of these alternative investment funds are venture capital fund, angel fund, hedge fund. Angel fund in Shark Tank India, many of the startups who come there, they say that some angel has invested. Some angel has invested. It means what? They did not give stocks, they did not give bonds. Just by trusting the entrepreneur, that particular investor have poured money into their business. Okay, a high net worth individual means a person who is having lot of money. Okay, you went there and you have given the idea that what you want to do, and he liked it and he has invested. By investing in that, he did not ask you equity, did not ask you any bond, but that particular person, the funds received from that particular person is called as what? Angel funds. I hope this is clear to you. So if you even know the definition of alternative investment fund, your job would have been done in the examination. It is 2 and 4. So only 2 is your answer. Only 2 is your answer. Clear? Okay. Now we are having which of the following are the sources of income for Reserve Bank of India. Again, in the economic times only, you can see where does RBI earn income. Where does RBI gets the income? Clearly mentioned here. So you can say that buying and selling of government bonds, it is true. Okay, with the help of OMO, open market operations, RBI on behalf of the government buy and sell the bonds. This is true. Buying and selling of foreign currency, RBI do this. Very common because RBI is the keeper of foreign exchange reserves. All of us know it. The third one we are having is pension fund management. Have you ever heard that RBI and PF is having any relation? Did you ever heard it? You did not heard it. So if you even remove the 2 option B and C would have been gone. And if you know the fourth one, completely your answer would have been even get more better. Lending to private companies. Have you ever seen that the RBI has lended the money to Tata, Ambani, Birla, or any of the startups like Boat or Lenskart? RBI does not give any money to the companies also. RBI give monies only to whom? Banking institution, non-banking financial companies, state government, etc. so and so forth. RBI will not give any money to what? Private companies. So if you remove 4, again this 2 will go. Okay. Fifth one is printing and distributing currency notes. How can RBI get money by printing and distributing currency notes? Actually, that is an expenditure for the RBI because they have to put money to do the printing and distribution of currency. That's why only 1 and 2 are true. 1 and 2 are true. Please remember this point. Is it clear to all of you who are watching me? Please write in the comment section if you are clear about these 2 particular questions. We can go ahead. So they are almost like how many questions we have done? We have done 3 questions we have done. That comes to around 6 marks for all of you. Clear? Chalo. Now, again a question has come. I told you again and again in my tips section. So you can see that change in statutory body or change in ministry, whenever you are actually doing a particular question, I have told you in the tips section only that see that whether the change in ministry, change in statutory body is modified. So here in this question of UPSC, they have given Directorate of Enforcement, Directorate of Revenue Intelligence, Directorate General of Systems and Data Management. So this particular department, basically directorate, implements which act? This act, this act, this act. Okay, according to the answer, all of these are 2. First and second column are 2. So he is asking in how many above rows is the information correctly matched. So we have to see that all 3 are matched or not. So at this point of time, these 2 are matched. These 2 are matched. And we are having the ministries. That is what I have told you, that change in the ministry is important. Change in the statutory body is important. So Directorate of Enforcement, it works under Internal Security Division 1, Ministry of Home Affairs. That is the wrong one actually. Directorate of Enforcement works under Department of Revenue, that is Ministry of Finance. Ministry of Finance. So only 2 rows are correct. Only 2 rows are correct because the first one is wrong. Why? Because Directorate of Enforcement is not working under Ministry of Home Affairs. It is working under the Ministry of what? Finance. Whereas the rest two directorates are clear. Okay, there is no problem with regard to that rows. Getting my point here? Chalo. Now again you can see here. Okay. Consider the following statement. Reserve Bank of India mandates all listed companies in India to submit a business responsibility and state sustainability report. Here I have already told you that again change in the statutory body. The answer here, the first statement is wrong. Why it is wrong? Means it is not the RBI, it is the SEBI. That is what I have told you. RBI is a statutory body. Okay. SEBI is a statutory body. What they have done here, change in the statutory body concept that they have done. So RBI does not ask all listed companies to submit this BRSR report. It is a SEBI actually who asks. So first one is wrong. In India, a company submitting BRSR makes disclosures in the report that are largely non-financial in nature. That is true. SEBI said to all companies that as you file the annual financial statements, all companies need to file with SEBI who have taken license from SEBI. Apart from that, they should also give information with regard to non-financial nature. Means you can see that what is the non-financial nature is nothing but here you are having how much resource usage happened with regard to energy and water, air pollution with regard to their business, how much greenhouse emissions that they have done. Are they transitioning to circular economy or not? Circular economy is nothing but I took a water bottle, I use it for 6 months, the water bottle got what I say is that completely worn out, then I am using it as a like decorative element, or I am using it as a pen keeper, etc. That is called as what? Reuse. That is called as reuse. So whatever the business is there, are they, whatever they are producing, are they using it back in a recycle way or refurbished way or reused way? So that information need to be given. How much waste generated by a company, that also need to be given. What are the measures taken by the disably abled persons, divyang people, for them, what the business is doing, what are the turnover rates, okay, what are the welfare benefits given to permanent and contract employees. So you can understand that in BRSR report, the SEBI is not only asking the financial aspects of that particular institution, it is also asking what? Non-financial in nature, which could be economic, which could be social, which could be what? Welfare indicators of their particular businesses. So this is 2, so only 2 is right answer. Okay, so if you have known my tip that I have given you just one day before the examination, do see the, if they are asking RBI, do see whether it is RBI or SEBI or NHIA or PFRDO, you would have done these questions very, very well. So it's not the RBI that asks all the companies to submit BRSR, it is the SEBI who does it. SEBI who does it. Okay, right. Another important question coming from what? Economic Times. All the questions are coming, 95% of the economic questions have come from Economic Times. I am repeating again and again, all those who are watching me, make sure that you buy the Economic Times paper every other day and try to learn the basics and the current affair things from it. You are 40 marks. 40 marks is nothing but half of the cutoff, like 20 questions are coming from economy, directly from Economic Times, not a small thing. So here you can see, consider the following statements. In India, income from agriculture activities like poultry farming, wool rearing in rural areas are exempted from any tax. Means if you are doing any kind of poultry business or wool rearing business, are you exempted from tax? This is the question. So in the Economic Times paper only, you can see that agriculture income is exempted from tax under the Income Tax Act of 1961. It is important to know that income from the agricultural activities, allied activities like poultry farming, wool rearing are not considered as agriculture income. Hence, tax may be levied on income from such activities. So remember this point here. Now, what does it say? If you are doing any farming, means अगर आप खेती कर रहे हैं तो your income from the खेती is exempted. But if you are doing poultry and wool rearing, these are not exempted from taxation in the Income Tax Act of 1961. So here you can see that consider the following statements. In India, income from the allied agriculture activities like poultry and wool rearing in rural areas exempted from any tax. No, this is wrong. Statement itself is wrong. Okay, why? Because here it is clearly written in the Economic Times paper that they are not exempted. In India, rural agricultural land is not considered as capital asset under the provisions of this is true. So statement 1 is not correct, statement 2 is correct. So in agriculture, land is not considered as what? Capital asset in our country. That is the reason income tax, income earned through the transaction of this agricultural land. अगर आपके पास agricultural land है, अगर आप वो मुझे बेचते हैं, तब इसमें से आपको जो फायदा होगा उसके ऊपर टैक्स नहीं लगेगा अकॉर्डिंग टू द इनकम टैक्स एक्ट. दिस इज व्हाट इज कॉल्ड एज ओके because agricultural land is not a capital asset in the eyes of what? Income Tax Act of 1961. Clear all of you? Those who are watching me, please let me know that whether it is all clear or not, so we can go ahead. एक रिप्लाई तो कर सकते हैं आप लोग, so that the things become very very easy and थोड़ा बहुत ब्रेन को स्ट्रेन भी कम होगा. अभी तक तो क्लियर है ना? इकोनॉमिक टाइम्स का इंपॉर्टेंस तो आप देख ही लिए हैं. चलो लेट अस गो अहेड. नाउ मिनरल सिक्योरिटी पार्टनरशिप. सो दिस दे हैव डायरेक्टली टेकन फ्रॉम व्हाट? बिजनेस स्टैंडर्ड. मुझे ये समझ में आएगा, तो मुझे व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू थिंक इज, after knowing the complete analysis, what I understood is the questions are coming from different papers. Some are coming from Indian Express से आ रहे, थोड़े हिंदू से आ रहे. हिंदू और इंडियन एक्सप्रेस बेसिकली मेंस क्वेश्चन ज़्यादा आएंगे यहाँ से. ओके, with regard to print रहो, with regard to MSN रहो, okay, PIB रहो, okay, and then economic times, business standard, down to earth. तो यहाँ पे से you are getting what? Prelims. Now what I really understood that a institute, in order to cover all the newspapers, they should have more content developer with regard to current affairs or not? Yes. So basically the institute that we are having are basically concentrated on Hindu and Indian Express. Okay, when they are concentrating on this two, no, they are not able to get the prelims questions, wo they are not able to actually find in the newspapers. Because अगर current affair बनाना है for a institute, if they are employing like 10 people to work on Hindu and Indian Express and making what? Prelims content बना रहे हैं या mains content बना रहे हैं, whatever they are doing. So at the end you can understand that there are 10 people who are working on 2 papers and which are continuously doing, but questions are coming from different papers. Okay, all the papers. So employing lot of people, अगर 30 लोग खाली current affair के ऊपर काम करेंगे, so and 5 members are actually working on what? Economic Times, some are working on down to earth, some are working on the Hindu. So the cost of that particular current affair material, the cost of the current affair classes will increase. So in order to keep the cost less, what they are doing is they are only concentrating on the Hindu and Indian Express. As I've told you that Hindu and Indian Express are basically related to what? Hindu तो पूरा मेंस के लिए ही काम में आएगा आपको, and Indian Express में थोड़ा बहुत you can have what? Prelims, but you can see that Economic Times, Business Standard, इसमें से questions आते हैं. So what I suggest that whether if any channel like us, which are completely dedicated, one faculty is there completely telling you economics, just follow him, because he will be always doing Economic Times, Financial Express, Business Standards, that I do. If somebody is taking only history in a one particular institute like ours, then follow him. What will happen is he will be having that particular newspapers he is continuously actually going through. With that, what happened? You will get the accumulated content of all the newspapers in one go. I hope this is clear to you. Okay. So mineral security partnership, it is given in the business standard. Why, what it is, why it is important, you can see here very clearly. Okay, India has joined the mineral security partnership. That is very true. India has joined in 2023. Remember this point. यहाँ पे देख सकते हैं आप. India has joined in 2023. India is a resource rich country in all the 30 critical minerals that it has identified. India के पास ये है ही नहीं. Critical minerals you can say, or rare earth अर्थ में rare पाए जाते हैं. That's why we call them as rare earth minerals. India के पास नहीं है. That's why our industries with regard to hardware industries जो भी है हमारे, like routers making, like smartphones making, laptops making, okay, and LEDs making. So we are not able to do on our own because we have to source it from other countries. So second one possible हो ही नहीं सकता because India do not have what? उतना रिसोर्स रिच हम नहीं हैं. ओके. थर्ड वन इज़ वेरी ट्रू. इंडिया हैज़ रिसेंटली आइडेंटिफाइड इन 2023 डेवलपमेंट ये मॉडिफिकेशन हुआ है माइंस एंड मिनरल्स डेवलपमेंट रेगुलेशन एक्ट ऑर्डिनेंस वाज गिवन इन 2023 बाय विच इंडिया हैज़ थोड़े बहुत मिनरल्स वी आर हैविंग okay with regard to rare earth elements we have some of the areas where we have identified that these minerals could be found there, so we have auctioned it. So answer here is 1 and 3. Answer here is 1 and 3. So the PDF I will give it to the institution and they will put in the telegram. You can just go and go through all of this. Okay, clear. So you can see that government has amended the mines and minerals to facilitate critical mineral auctions, and government is doing that. And India in January 2025 has also launched a little bit of extra information to all of you, National Critical Mineral Mission also. Now it is very very easy to actually do it. Okay, chalo. Here we are having with regard to bonds, we are having bonds and shares. As regards returns, अगर हम returns की बात करें from an investment in a company, bondholders are considered to be relatively at lower risk than stockholders. That is very true. So if you have studied in your static knowledge, you might have come across that if you are investing in shares, nothing but the plural form of shares is called as stocks. Remember this point. If you are investing in shares, okay, you become what owner of that particular company. So if the company sail, you will sail. If the company sink, you will also sink. So you are relatively at higher risk, whereas in the bonds it is properly written that whether you do sale or sink doesn't matter to the particular person who have purchased the bond. The company was and is liable to pay him back. So bonds are relatively lower at risk, that is very true, whereas shares are higher at risk, that is also very true. Okay, so the first statement here is right. Bondholders are lenders to a company, whereas stockholders are owners. Just now I have told you that when you buy share of a particular company, it means you are a partner. So that is true. Shareholders are like owners. Just like in Shark Tank India, they invest in equity. The moment they invest in equity, nothing but they are buying shares. When they are buying shares, it means they become the owner. It means when they become the owner, if the company loses, their all money is gone. If the company makes a profit, their all money becomes double, triple, quadruple. Okay, bond holders are basically lenders. हाँ, आपको हम इतने पैसे दे रहे हैं, आप एक टाइम के बाद दे दो. For repayment purpose, bond holders are prioritized over stockholders by a company. Suppose we are having Shark Tank India का नाम ले लेंगे हम, वहीं पे like boat company है, sugar company है, Shaadi.com है, any of the company. Suppose what happened, they have invested, they have 50% इनका share dilute हो गया and 10% they have what bond holders are there. Suppose all of these companies make what losses. And it is about to wind up, ये wind up होने वाले हैं, means they are about to close their business and they cannot run more than that. It means what, they will tell to their employees that after 2 months we are removing all of you, please up job देख लीजिए etc. So and so forth, they will close the office. At that time what happened, obviously bondholders are just lenders, so that's why they are not the owners of the company. They will be getting what money first, and whatever is left after dilution will be given to what, shareholders. Will be given to shareholders. So both 1 and 2 statements are correct, and third statement is that explains the statement 1 very correctly. C is the answer, not C. The B is the answer. B is the answer. Remember this point. Okay. Clear? Both 1 and 2 statements are correct, and statement 1 explains statement 2. All are right. Next we'll go ahead with again economic times. Please see here very clearly. Again economic times आ गया. Okay. Economic times have got a heading, एक news आई थी, India overtakes Hong Kong as world's 4th largest stock market. So on that only a question has been framed. This is the heading of this particular what I say is that article, and below the article you are having what, these 3 points are anyhow there in the article. I have just given you as a reference that how economic times are playing, newspaper is playing a very very crucial role with regard to what, your preparation for UPSC with respect to the economic subject. So this is very true. India accounts for a very large portion of all equity options. This is very true, and it is getting boom it seems. Indian stock market has grown rapidly in the recent past, even overtaking Hong Kong. That is also true. That is what it is. India overtakes Hong Kong. This is true. देर इज नो रेगुलेटरी बॉडी. ऐसा कैसे हो सकता व्हेन वी आर डीलिंग विद स्टॉक्स? इंडिया के पास इतनी बड़ी सी सेबी पड़ी हुई है. वी आर हैविंग सेबी, द one of the very well funded, very well structured, developed SEBI is there. How can we say that there is no regulatory body that will warn the small investors? Small investors हो, ₹1 इन्वेस्ट करो स्टॉक में, या ₹1000 इन्वेस्ट करो, या 1 crore rupees you invest in the stock market, SEBI gives warning to everyone. अब SEBI क्यों डिस्क्रिमिनेट करेगा कि आप ₹10 इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं, या ₹100 इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं, या 1 लाख इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं? So SEBI has normal common norms for each one of them. So basically there is a regulatory body which is SEBI. That's all. The answer lies here only. So 1 and 2 are only correct. These two statements are given in the Economic Times paper. Now, what is the meaning of, again you see Economic Times, a question has come on circular economy, and here you are having a full-fledged article in Economic Times with regard to what is circular economy, all about it, and why companies are adopting it. Circular economy, the basic concept of circular economy is nothing but whatever the wastages will happen, okay, that has to be recycled back. Again, the company should use it. It means what? The cycle should go on in the company, and if all the companies in the India is doing the same thing, then it means what? We will say that India is going towards, or India is transitioning towards circular economy. Let us see what is there. Circular economy reduces the emission of greenhouse gases, because in circular economy we will try to see that, okay, the derivatives which are produced, which can have the ability to give greenhouse gases, we'll try to recycle them. Circular economy reduces the use of raw materials as inputs, because again in circular economy, just like space, like ISRO is also following like circular space setup only, because we wanted to send a rocket, and we want the rocket to come back again in the form of what? Reusable rocket launching system. Means we have to reuse the launch vehicle like that. Okay, fine. Circular economy reduces wastage. Obviously, when you are using the things again and again, you are not buying the new one. You are not buying the new one. So suppose I have given the example of water bottle. Water bottle I have used for 6 months and it got spoiled. Now I am using it for pen, as a pen keeper. When I am using as a pen keeper, I will not buy another pen keeper, a new one. I will not buy, right or wrong. So I will generally try to reduce what? Wastages also in the production. Right? So here circular economy reduces the emission of greenhouse gases, because circular economy reduces the use of raw materials, okay, as inputs. Circular economy reduces wastages in the production processes. Okay, here you can see that, see, statement 1, 2, 3 का link पूछ रहा है, so we have to be very cautious about, we have to find cause and effect relationship at least. अगर ये cause है तो इसके effects क्या हो सकते हैं, अगर ये effect है तो इसके causes क्या हो सकते हैं, we have to find out that. Which one of the following is correct about statement? Both statement 2 and statement 3 are correct. Both of them are explaining statement 1. So obviously when the raw material आप कम यूज़ करेंगे तो डिफॉरेस्टेशन भी कम करेंगे, माइनिंग भी कम करेंगे. दैट्स हाउ योर रॉ मटेरियल इज रिड्यूस. व्हेन यू आर डूइंग दैट एक्टिविटीज लेस, ऑब्वियसली you are emitting the GHG gases less. Circular economy reduces wastage in the production process. Wastage is reduced. It means what? The less amount of wastage is going into the environment and harming the underground water or ground pollution. ये सब भी कम हो रहा. So answer here is very true. A is our answer. A is our answer. Clear? Right. Now again in Economic Times, as I have told you, Economic Times का फिर आया question, capital receipts के बारे में आया. So a very, what are capital receipts and capital payments, clearly given in the Economic Times. Again, as I have told you that Economic Times is going to be your next year paper for economic questions, MCQs. So you can able to do 20 questions for 40 marks, which is half of your cutoff. Is not a small thing. Capital receipts are liabilities. That is true. वो एक liabilities ही है. Create a liability causes a reduction in the asset of government. Air India को बेचकर पैसे हम लिए. That is called as capital receipt. And Air India क्या थी? Air India was a asset. So government assets got reduced or not? Yes. So this is true. So capital receipts are creates a liability. या तो हमें वापस देना पड़ेगा जहाँ से पैसे लिए. If you are borrowing from World Bank, IMF, you have to give them back. Or by doing disinvestments, okay, by doing privatization, outright privatization, we will reduce the assets of the government also. This is very true. Borrowings and disinvestments belongs to this particular concept only. So this is true. Interest received can never be what? Capital received, because you know that the word capital itself, it means what? Long term. But interest receipts or interest payments are basically what? Expenditure belongs to what? Revenue expenditure. It's a revenue expenditure. Recurring जो भी बार बार होती है चीज़, because interest have to be given every month. Okay, that's why interest, whether it is received to a particular person, whether he has to give, it has to be done in a very recurring manner, very short term manner. That is the reason. First, third one is wrong. 1 and 2 are only correct. 1 and 2 are only correct. Now we are having, consider the following statement. Again, you can see Economic Times. Okay, please don't mind that I am talking. I am not promoting Economic Times newspaper here, but I want to make sure that from tomorrow onwards you are going to buy this Economic Times paper, or you are taking the subscription of it and trying to read from it. Okay, you can see very clearly India is the largest producer and exporter of turmeric in the world. So you see, India is the largest producer, consumer, exporter of turmeric in the world. Very true. More than 30 varieties of turmeric are grown in India. So you can see here more than 30 varieties of turmerics are grown in India. Maharashtra, Telangana, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu are the major turmeric producers. So you can see here that particular point I might have missed here. I might have not properly cropped it. But this is also true. This is also true. So your answer is all the above, all the three statements are true, which is again given in from what? Economic Times में आया सो है. ठीक है. Now, राष्ट्रीय गोकुल मिशन, my dear students, statement to statement, point to point, whatever we have discussed just before 3 days of the examination, exactly that question got replicated in the UPSC Prelims 2025. You can see here very clearly, it is important for the first statement is nothing but it is important for the upliftment of rural poor, as majority of low producing indigenous animals are with small and marginal farmers. So you can see that majority of this indigenous, okay, which are giving less productivity, are with what? Small and marginal farmers. Very true. It was initiated to promote indigenous cattle and buffalo. You can see here it is initiated to promote, यहाँ पे है indigenous bovine breeds, and you can also see here कहीं पे you will also find what? Okay, all cattle and buffalo. All cattle and buffalo. Okay, यहाँ पे आपको देखना ये है, the question here is, he is asking the question that it was initiated to promote indigenous only. Indigenous means India में एक ज़माने से है सो cattles. Okay, that cattle and buffalo are only promoted, like that it is saying. But यहाँ पे क्या लिखा हुआ है? To all cattle and buffaloes. Means even if in the country we bought any foreign, अगर हम cow लेके आए, foreign buffalo लेके आए from Indonesia or from Malaysia, कहीं से भी लेके आए, which gives lot of milk, तो फिर उसको शिप में डाल के लेकर आते ना. We will import animals also. If you don't know, we will import everything that a man needs. Okay. So हम लेके आए यहाँ पे. So basically indigenous रहो या foreign cattle buffaloes रहो, this scheme is applicable to everything. Okay. To all, not only to what? Indigenous नहीं है. So this is what the UPSC do. UPSC tricks. I already told you in the examination, before the examination, that UPSC generally try to trick us by prepositions, conjunctions, using superlatives. Okay, more or lesser or all or regional or only rural, only urban, like that they will say. So make sure that I have given you the tip already, so you should be doing it. Now this is again in the print that they have given. This particular question is not there in many of the newspapers. It is there only in what print I have found. So it is Asian Development Bank, Nature Solution Finance Hub for Asia and Pacific. This particular program was launched by whom? It is launched by Asian Development Bank. ADB launches Nature Solution Finance Hub for Asia Pacific with USD 200 crores. Okay. Now this is very nice question that I loved it. Okay, and doing it also makes me very happy. Okay, the country's fiscal deficit, it is given here. What? See it. Country's fiscal deficit stands at 50,000 crores. It is receiving 10,000 crore non-debt capital receipts. The country's interest liabilities are 1,500 crores. Okay, so we will write it here. So fiscal deficit कितना है? 50,000 crores. Then you are having what? Receiving non-debt capital receipts are how much? 10,000 crores. Interest payments are how much? Okay, interest payments are 1,500 crores. Right or wrong? This is very true. Now, if you talk about fiscal deficit nothing but total receipts minus total expenditures. If you are aware of this fact, this is how the fiscal deficit is being calculated. In total receipts, we are having what? Revenue receipts are there. Okay, revenue expenditures are there. Here, capital receipts are there, capital expenditures are there. Right or wrong? Capital receipts. So here what they are saying is, after doing all the receipts, all the expenditure, the complete fiscal deficit is coming how much? Okay, complete fiscal deficit coming how much? It's coming to, one second, I'll just rub it out. 50,000 crore is our fiscal deficit. मतलब क्या है यहाँ पे? Fiscal deficit is nothing but total revenues. Total revenues never revenue receipts and capital receipts. Total expenditures nothing but revenue expenditures, capital expenditure. इन पूरों का कितना आया? 50,000 crores आया. Now imagine non-debt capital receipts are here only now. Non-debt capital receipts. It means what? Whenever we are taking out fiscal deficit, it means what? We have already added how much? We have already taken the non-debt capital receipts only. Don't know if fiscal deficit is possible. Otherwise, fiscal deficit cannot be possible. Okay. So it means what? This particular statement, like non-debt capital receipt is 10,000 crore, is given us to just you make confusion. It is a futile statement. Because when we talk about fiscal deficit, 50,000 is there. It means it is inclusive of any of these, all the four ingredients. It is inclusive of this. That's why the 10,000 crore rupees non-debt capital receipts are already included in fiscal deficit. Already included in fiscal deficit, and at the end, what is the fiscal deficit? We got 10,000. Okay, so it is asking what gross primary deficit kitna hai. Gross primary deficit, you can see that you tell primary deficit or you tell gross primary deficit, all are same. Fiscal deficit minus interest payments. So fiscal deficit is 50,000 and interest payments how much is given? 1,500 crores are given, which comes to how much? 48,500. Which comes to how much? 48,500 crores. So our answer here is 48,500 crores. This is the answer. This is the answer. It is clear to everyone? Is all clear? So non-debt capital receipts are given only for what? To confuse you. Nothing more than that. It's already a part of fiscal deficit. Fiscal deficit cannot be possible until unless we don't try to take all the receipts, all the expenditure together, then we call it as fiscal deficit. Clear? Then we are having another question with regard to that. I am really loving these questions. यहाँ पे देखिए revenue expenditure क्या है? What is our revenue expenditure? Revenue expenditure is what? 80,000 crores. Revenue receipts क्या है यहाँ पे? Revenue receipts are 60,000 crore. Expenditure and receipts are given. It means what? Revenue deficit कितना होगा? Revenue deficit 20,000 crore. So first one is very right here. Okay, revenue deficit is 20,000 crore. This is true. Then we are having what? Then we are having budget also show borrowings of 10,000 crores. Okay, borrowings कितने हैं? Borrowings are 10,000 crores. Interest payments are how much? 6,000 crores. Interest payments are how much? 6,000 crores. Now just imagine a point here. I will be telling you. Now we'll take it very properly. When we want to know fiscal deficit, basically total revenues, total expenditure we take. Total revenues are nothing but what? Revenue receipts, capital receipts. Total expenditure are nothing but revenue expenditure and capital expenditure. Clear or not? Yes. Now, revenue receipts are how much? 80,000 crore given. Okay, revenue expenditure are how much? 80,000 are given. Revenue expenditure 80,000 crores. Revenue receipts are how much? 60,000 crores. Right? And here you are having borrowings. Borrowings come in what? Capital receipts. Capital receipts borrowings are how much? 10,000 crore is given. 10,000 crore is borrowings. Clear? So if I want to know the fiscal deficit now, if I want to know, what will happen? Revenue receipts and capital receipts together how much? 60 plus 10, 70,000. Revenue expenditures on how much? 80,000. 70 minus 80 is how much? 10,000. It means what? Overall fiscal deficit again I am getting how much? Overall fiscal deficit again I am getting how much? 10,000 crore. 70 में से 80, 80 में 70 गया तो कितना बचा? 10,000 crore बचा. So this is also true. The primary deficit is nothing but fiscal deficit क्या आया? Fiscal deficit is how much? Okay. Then if we are taking 10,000 is the fiscal deficit. 10,000 is the fiscal deficit. So 10,000 minus interest payments if we remove, because primary deficit ka, what is the formula of primary deficit? Fiscal deficit minus interest payments. What is the fiscal deficit? 10,000 crores. What is the interest payments? 6,000 crores. So 10 में से 6 गया तो we get what? 4,000 crores. So answer is 4,000 crore. 1 2 3 all are right. 1 2 3 all are right. It is very very good question. If you see it again and again, अगर आप आपके सामने वो बजट टैक्सेशन का चार्ट रखेंगे तो आपको क्लियरली ये समझ में आएगा. अगर नहीं भी समझ में आया तो कोई बात नहीं, यू कैन जस्ट पुट इन ए टेलीग्राम और write a mail to us. We'll again explain you, or else you see this lecture again, see this part again, you will understand it. But before that, the prerequisite is very simple. आपके पास वो चार्ट होना चाहिए जहाँ पे ये पूरे बजट के कैपिटल रेवेन्यू रिसिप्ट्स ऑल आर प्रेजेंट. Now, 15th Finance Commission. See, this is the easiest question that I have seen in the complete handed marks. Easiest question. They asked 15th Finance Commission recommendation. Now you all can say, what sir, 15th Finance Commission recommendation, they are almost like 20-25 are there, and you are saying very easy. 20-25 with data, with percentages, with value, how can we remember? Okay, कभी sectoral grants दे रहे हैं, कभी 90:10 बोल रहे हैं, कभी इतने % दे रहे हैं. So it's not a easy question, sir. Why are you saying like that? You can ask me like that. But it is very easy question with regard to what doing this MCQ. Why I am saying you this means, 15th Finance Commission कितना बोला? 41% दे दो बोला. Vertical devolution. 15th Finance Commission say that vertical devolution should be from center to state. कितना देना है? 41% देना है. Right or wrong? What is given here? 45%. Okay, center to state it should go to 45%, which is absolutely wrong. So when second one goes, second one यहाँ पे भी है, second one यहाँ पे भी है, second one यहाँ पे, the only option that is left is what? So even if you are knowing the heading of 15th Finance Commission, the major heading of 15th Finance Commission is always what? कितना center से state को state के लिए पैसा recommend किया गया है by the Finance Commission. If you are even knowing that particular statement or heading in any of the newspaper, you would have then done this particular question for sure. I hope this is all clear to you. All the economic questions are over. Tomorrow I'll be doing the current affair questions, and after that I have to also tell you that we have launched UPSC GS 2026 to 2027 foundation course. We have launched, and both prelims and mains covered, and we have also launched NCERT plus foundation course, which is a very highly qualitative course. You should be a part of it. Don't skip it. You will get the esteemed faculty that is already there in the IQRA, and also I'm also part of it with regard to guiding you in economics and current affairs editorials. Our mains mentorship also has started. You can just call us in the given in the information given in the description. You can be a part of us and empower. And after tomorrow, if you are done with CNO, then I'm starting what mains model question and answer series for the 2025 mains plus prelims 2026 current affairs. So we are having classes in this way. Split classes will be there, which will benefit the main students of 2025, and if you are even preparing for 2026, that is anyhow beneficial because mains answer rating तो लिखना ही है. ठीक है. So prelims और mains के लिए I will split it, and मेरा जो part है economic current affairs editorials I'll be doing with lot of energy, lot of excitement and motivation. So you please come into the class and do share with all of your friends and make this particular series successful. I hope this is all clear to you. I'll see you tomorrow on same time 11 and 12 between.